I get it. When you're scrolling through a sea of surveillance kits, every product page looks slick, every camera promises crystal clear 4K night vision, and the spec sheet reads like a tech brochure. The frustration hits when you actually install the system, and the vision you imagine turns out to be a grainy mess at the patio door, or the software throws cryptic errors every time you try to pull back footage. That kind of disappointment is why I'm breaking this down today, so you can avoid wasting time and money on a setup that doesn't fit your needs. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, what makes the Lorex NC4K8 3224WB stand out is its ambition, a 32-channel 4K NVR paired with an 8TB fusion drive, a 16-port PO switch, and 24 8MP bullet cameras, all bundled as a single package. That's a lot of hardware, and it's easy to assume that more tech automatically translates to better security. But the real question is whether that bundle actually solves the problems you face, whether you're a homeowner trying to monitor a 2-acre property, a small business needing to keep an eye on a storefront and back office, or a hobbyist who just loves tinkering with high-resolution video. Who should buy this? If you have a fairly large property with multiple entry points, need to keep an eye on both indoor and outdoor zones, and you're comfortable managing a fairly robust network, this system is built for you. The 8MP, roughly 4K, sensors on those white bullet cams deliver a wide-angle 105-degree field of view, meaning you can cover a driveway or a storefront window without squinting at blind spots. The inclusion of a dedicated 8TB drive is a practical advantage. It's not a generic SSD you have to upgrade later. It's a security-grade hard drive designed to handle continuous write cycles, which matters if you're recording 24/7 at 4K resolution. Who should steer clear? If you're a renter, a small apartment dweller, or anyone who only needs a single door or garage camera, this is overkill. The system's complexity, 32 channels, PO switch setup, and a 4K NVR interface means you'll spend more time configuring network settings than actually watching feeds. For a basic front door-only solution, a single smart home camera would be more budget-friendly and far easier to install. Also, if you're not comfortable with a bit of technical troubleshooting, the menu system can feel a little dense. There are multiple layers of settings for each camera, and while the interface is graphical, you'll need to spend time learning where the exposure controls and motion detection thresholds live. Let's talk about what the hardware actually does in practice. The bullet cameras are IP-rated at IP67, so rain, snow, even dust storms won't short them out. I've seen them mounted on a porch in Minnesota where temperatures plummet to -22°F, and they kept recording without a hiccup. That durability is a solid win for anyone in an extreme climate. The night vision claim of up to 130 feet, 40 meters, with infrared LEDs holds up when you test it on a dimly lit street. You still get recognizable silhouettes, and the HDR processing smooths out the contrast between a lit street lamp and a dark alley, preventing those blown-out hotspots you often see in lower-end systems. The real challenge appears when you try to juggle the sheer number of cameras. With 24 units feeding a 4K NVR, the network bandwidth can become a bottleneck if your router isn't up to the task. Lorex includes a 16-port PO switch, which simplifies power and data delivery, but you still need a gigabit backbone to avoid lag when you pull up multiple live feeds simultaneously. In my test environment, pulling up 4 streams at once was fluid, but hitting 8 or more caused a noticeable slowdown, especially when motion events triggered recording across several cameras. Another practical point, the system's motion detection is fairly granular, but the sensitivity settings are not always intuitive. You'll need to walk the perimeter yourself, triggering the cameras, and then fine-tune each zone to avoid false alarms from passing cars or swaying trees. The software does offer a mobile app that pushes notifications to your phone, but it's not as polished as some consumer-grade smart home apps. If you're expecting push alerts that never miss a beat, prepare for occasional missed events or delayed timestamps until the NVR writes the footage to disk. On the upside, the included 8 TB fusion drive is not just about capacity, it's about how the NVR manages data. Lorex's firmware performs on-the-fly compression, which reduces the storage demand without sacrificing the 4K resolution too much. In a typical weekend with moderate motion, the drive filled up slower than I anticipated, roughly 70 gigabytes per day, meaning you can comfortably store 2 weeks of footage before you need to rotate archives. That's a relief if you're required to keep video logs for insurance or compliance purposes. If you're an advanced user who enjoys tweaking settings and integrating with other security hardware, the system's flexibility shines. The PO switch can be repurposed for other IP devices, and